Mr. McFall presents Science You Can Do in Your Home. Please be advised, Mr. McFall is a trained professional. Make sure you follow all safety precautions before attempting the experiment shown in this video.
Hello. For this experiment, you're going to need a couple of glasses, some water, tap water, some salt, and gummy bears, or some other gummy bear-like sweet. So something that's jelly in consistency. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to add roughly the same amount of water to each glass. So you don't need too much, just enough to cover a gummy bear. Just add a little bit more. It doesn't need to be perfectly accurate, as you'll see in a second. For one of these, we're just going to add the gummy bear in by itself. So I'm going to choose red gummy bears, and we're just going to place the gummy bear in by itself, and we're going to leave that there. For the other one, we're going to want to create a saturated salt solution. Now, a saturated solution is one where no more can dissolve. So you can see if I put a tiny amount of salt in here and I shake it around, you'll see that that salt will dissolve, and you can see that it is disappearing from the bottom. That's not what I want. I want a saturated solution. So I want to keep adding salt until no more will dissolve, until I have a amount of salt which is resting on the bottom, okay? And that means that this solution is saturated. That means no more salt can dissolve in the water. And we're going to pop our final gummy bear into that. And that's the experiment setup. So we're going to fast forward a day, and we're going to see what has happened to our gummy bears. Okay, so here we are, 24 hours later, and we can see quite the difference. The gummy bear that was placed in just tap water has swollen up to almost the entire size of the glass, and then the one that was placed in salt water has shrunk. It's difficult to see that it's shrunk because of the refraction of the glass, but we're going to get them out now and we're going to compare them to our original gummy bear. So I'll put the original gummy bear in the middle on this piece of kitchen towel, and then we'll get the other two out. Just being careful to get rid of any excess water. And we'll put, this is the one that was in water, and then this is the one that was placed in the salt solution. And you can see that it has shriveled up. And so there we have it, the swollen gummy bear placed in tap water, our original gummy bear, and then our gummy bear that was placed in the saturated salt solution. So what's going on here? So what happened to our gummy bears? Well, we were actually seeing the results of a physical process known as osmosis. What is osmosis? Well, to give you a rather long and technical definition, lifted straight from GCSE, osmosis is the movement of water across a partially permeable membrane from a higher concentration to a lower concentration. Okay, so what does that actually mean? Well, let's take a look at our beaker, which contained just tap water. In this situation, there is our gummy bear, and there are actually more water molecules outside the gummy bear than inside. And so what we have here is a concentration gradient of water molecules. They have a high concentration of water molecules outside the gummy bear and fewer water molecules inside the gummy bear. So what happens is that our water molecules move inside the gummy bear, and then that causes the gummy bear to swell. And that's exactly what we saw. So let's take a look at that in more detail. Here we have our beaker of water. On the right hand side, we have the side which represents the inside of the gummy bear, and that's separated from the rest of the water by the membrane, basically the outside of the gummy bear. Inside the gummy bear, you can see that we have these little green spheres, and that represents sugar. Okay, so what happens? Well, as you can see, all the water molecules are moving around. And the water molecules on the inside of the gummy bear, they interact with the sugar and they sort of clump together and stick to the sugar, which leaves less free water molecules on the inside of the gummy bear. So what happens next? Water leaves the outside of the gummy bear, traveling down a concentration gradient to the inside of the gummy bear. And you can see the water level rising there. This is what causes the gummy bear to swell. And so that's basically the process of osmosis. There's lots more to talk about, lots more to see, but that wraps up for this experiment, and we will see you again next time for another experiment you can do at home.